Hello everybody, my name is the narrator and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry it's been a while, my Wi-Fi is really slow and even if I'm connected to Ethernet I cannot really upload a video over a minute long without it taking about 12 hours to upload, but I have found a way that I can upload it a bit faster, so I will be recording more often now. I'm going to be reading a poem my sister wrote. Her name is Jesslyn Chivers, and the name of the poem is My Savior. She actually didn't have a name for this poem, she just gave it to me a minute ago, because I realized it didn't have a name. It's on paper, so I won't actually be looking at the computer, I'll be looking down a little bit. So, here goes. My Savior, a short story by Jesslyn. 1 year, 6 months, and 1 day. That was how long she had been broken. That was how long she had been building walls around herself. That was how long she had let the darkness take over her mind. So why did he think that she could be fixed? Wasn't he worried about cutting himself on the broken pieces? Of course not. All men are the same. They don't really want to fix you. No, just you to trust them enough for them to break your heart. That's why the second she saw him coming, she put thorned vines on top of her 8-foot thick wall. As he approached, he looked at the thorned vines and smiled, almost as if he had been expecting it to appear. He took a deep breath, and then he sat down directly in front of it, hesitantly almost, as though he were scared of what the reaction might be. He placed a hand on the wall and began to talk. He talked about the kind of person he was, the things he liked, he even sang his favorite song in hopes of the girl hearing. But there was one thing he said that really caught her attention. I'm not like other guys. I've seen the way that people have attacked your wall with sledgehammers and picks and all sorts of weapons, but I don't really see the point in that. I'm not going to force you to accept me. It has to be mutual. He had said quietly, smiling sadly at the wall that his hand rested on. But with those words, it was like the girl wouldn't hold back any more. A door appeared. It blended in well with the wall, as it was covered in thick vines. Well, it would have blended in, if it wasn't for the flower buds scattered across the vines. The boy looked at the door in surprise, before slowly getting up, his hand never leaving the wall, walking to the door. The wall seemed to tense up, and then he carefully turned the doorknob, and his sigh could be heard. He peeked inside, and was amazed by what he saw. The room hadn't been completely taken over by darkness. In fact, the tree in the middle separated it. One half of the tree was alive, and loaded with cherries and flowers, but the other was bare and desolate. And there, leaning against the tree with one foot on it, the other on the ground, was the girl. She seemed perplexed, but she pushed herself off the tree and walked towards him, slowly and deliberately, with tears streaming down her face. I'm here for you, he whispered sincerely, and that was all it took for her to collapse into his arms, and for the brightness, to take over. That is the end of this short story, and it seems that I still have some time, so I do have a couple other things from her over here. We have a very short story, very short, called Despair by Jesslyn Chivers as well. Despair ate away at the hearts of those whom captively held it. It drove out any hopes of freedom coming to save them. Despair held everyone tightly in his grasp, and slowly tore the life from them. She tried to fight despair's deadly gaze, but most failed in their valiant attempt to get away. Those who accepted despair as he waltzed calmly into their lives, despair killed the life in them at a far quicker pace. Even for those not in the camps, despair refused to leave their side. Despair stubbornly insisted on infecting their minds with fear and staying along for the ride. Even those who managed to drive despair away always welcomed him back in the end, and he always walked into their minds, smiling, as if he was an old friend. In the end, despair was faithful to those who accepted him, and those who fought him too, for he knew he was hated, but would be appreciated when he allowed everyone's minds to be infected with the fear they knew so well that caused them to die in the end. And because I do still have just a little bit longer, there is one more. I believe this is a poem, because she has stanzas written on the side of this. A rather long poem that she has written here. On the back is something I'll be reading eventually, just not today. This is called The Thoughts of the Depressed. This will be the last thing that I read for this video because that's all the writing she has left here for me. So, The Thoughts of the Depressed by Jesslyn Chivers. When I wake up in the morning, all I want to do is die. And when people ask me how I am, all I can think to do is lie. I'll tell them that I am okay, and they'll smile and nod their head, because they don't know that on the inside all I want to be is dead. As the day drags by, I'll avoid talking at all costs. And I know that without my books and poems I'd be lost. Because of this depression, I no longer know what to do. I no longer have the drive to live this life through. Every thought in my head is like a stab in the back, because belief in myself is the one thing I truly lack. Books allow me to escape this horrible life, while poetry takes my mind away from the strife. My life would be over without my poetry and books, because that happy girl I let you see is nothing but looks. At least I can use my depression for other people's sake, even if all I am is one big mistake. Maybe one day I'll get the courage to take my life away, and I know that day will be a truly bright day, for everybody's lives would be better off without me. That much I know is clear to see. That is the last thing I'll be reading today. I hope you like what she is writing. There is a lot more that she has written that I just don't have in here with me, so I can't read it right now. I'll probably go ahead and record another video or two, because I'm going to go ask her for some more things to read. So, please, if you have any comments, put them in the section below. Please leave a like and a subscription, and anything that you would like to hear me read, anything that you think I could do better, anything like that, please leave it down in the section below, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.